Okay, let's restart the movie. Let's restart the movie from
Not
zero.
muted.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Black Bear.
Good to go. Okay. All right.
Hello, and welcome to the Rotten Commentatoes podcast. I'm your host, Keegan Robertson, joined as always by my co-host, Darren Mortimer.
Hey, look, we said it at the same time.
That's so hot.
Great.
Today's episode is sponsored by Tide Pods. Go eat some. Also, we're looking at Suburbicon this week. I can't remember if I said that. I may have taken an illegal substance before we did this one.
A soon-to-be legal substance, I might add.
Is meth getting legal?
Oh, okay. I misunderstood you. There's
Okay, yeah.
there.
No,
Okay.
I lied.
So this is going to be an intense episode. This is going to be fast.
Yeah.
Buckle in, guys.
Well, I took some peyote as well to kind of even it out.
Okay, that makes sense. I'm just drinking beer. That's my.
That's a child's beverage. Child's beverage.
Hey, this is a double IPA 8%. Okay, so this is this ain't your grandpa's beer. Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna start ignoring you now. Suburbicon. There's a preface that we kind of have to do. I recently listened to one of my favorite podcasts. It's called The Dollop. It's an American history podcast. It's hilarious. It's the one that made me want to kind of try podcasting. And they covered this town called Levittown. And in that town, it's basically the first suburban... What's it called? A suburb. It's the first suburb ever made. And a black couple wanted to live there, a black family. And basically, it was like the end of the fucking world for white people. They had never had this happen before, and it was kind of the whole plan was to never have other races in with these white people living in suburbia. And they got super pissed because apparently the property values plummeted because nobody else wanted to live there because of one black family. So there were riots. There was the KKK came and started burning crosses on their lawn. They had to have a police guard, etc. I can't remember how it all ended up because I kind of fell asleep in the middle of the podcast that they did. But this movie is loosely based off of that, as well as a Cohen brothers script that they wrote in 1986. George Clooney was supposed to star in 2005, and then eventually moved to the director's seat. So what we have here is basically a good Cohen brothers film that's not directed by the Cohen brothers, while having simultaneously a dramatic period piece about racism in America. And to that end, the whole fucking movie is kind of a payoff to nothing. And I know I say this a lot about movies because we just covered that Jack Black piece of shit.
Yeah,
but
it's not very good, though.
This is a weird instance where everything works. Matt Damon does a great acting job. Julianne Moore does a great job. Oscar Isaac is always fantastic. The kid is pretty good as an actor.
Yeah, no, I was really impressed with the kid's performance.
Yeah, me as well. Can't fault him for that. But in the end, it really doesn't make a good movie because
doesn't come together.
They're trying to do too many. There's a few themes being intermixed, and there's a lot of Coen Brothers dark humor, but it's really poorly executed by the director George Clooney in the editing. It's
Coen Brothers meets Roald Dahl with a heavy dose of ADD. That's what this is.
Darren sent me a message earlier today that there was a heavy Roald Dahl feel to it, and it does, because it's centered on the kid, it does have this weird, that separation of children and parents, the two different worlds they live in, except that in this one, your dad's trying to kill you, etc.
Yeah, it's got that dark Coen Brothers twist. But I think one of the things that kind of gave me the Roald Dahl feel was the underscore in some scenes, like the kind of thing that's got going on. Do you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
The weird positive score, like that old,
the kind of like silly,
50s.
Over the top, like
campy.
The part of the movie that hit me the most with the Roald Dahl is when Matt Damon is in his office and the two hitman type folk come in to see him, and he gets punched in the face. And when that whole scene was just so Roald Dahl for me. The way they barge in and the way they're acting, they're kind of. There's an air of almost like childishness about it. It's kind of silly, but at the same time, these are really dark and messed up individuals.
Definitely. The opening scene to this movie is two henchmen in Matt Damon's house. I can't remember what his name is, so we're just going to go with Matt Damon. and they we'll skip to the chase. They kill the mother of the kid that we're going to be following around the whole movie.
Opening?
Yeah.
Well, not quite.
What? Is it not the? Isn't okay? What was the opening scene then, Darren? This one's an important opening scene. Oh, is it the setup for the black
Yeah,
family?
the setup for the well, no, they have the whole setup for the suburbs, and we have the mailman show up, and he takes mail to a house, and the black woman, Mrs. Myers, answers the door, and it's actually pretty funny. And he asks, "Is Miss Myers home?" And she says, "I'm Miss Myers," and he doesn't know how to respond. He's just like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, so they live in this city called Suburbicon. I can't remember if it's a city or like a branch of a city, but Suburbicon is super racist.
Ultra.
And this black family, we're going to be following them intermittently in the film, and they kind of meet a little bit with the characters in this crime drama, but there's no reason for them to be there, and that goes back to that melding two scripts and having a director direct a movie that he wasn't originally going to. So he's taking other people's ideas and trying to bring them together, and
super weird.
That
does not work.
The black family would have been a great movie. America is so fucked up and so racist and has been for so long. The way that country came together is ridiculous.
Oh yeah. This is like I should hope at least that we're past this level of intense racism.
They didn't. When Tiger Woods was getting big, there was this thing where he was having trouble hanging out at the golf lounges, whatever they're called. So it's not
Gross.
gone. I think that America has these bastions of racism, and that other races are breaking through those barriers slowly, and it's kind of going all the way up the food chain. For instance, I think that there was a huge problem with there was no awards that hip hop stars could win for a really long time at the Grammys, etc. They would get nominated all the time, but they would never win, and that's kind of being balanced out. But it's this whole thing where it's like, yeah, you can kind of play in our playhouse, but you don't belong here.
Yeah, you're not gonna be recognized.
Yeah, and it's really like two movies. If you cut the black family out of this movie, it would not affect the film. It would just be a really short Coen Brothers film.
Yeah, it's weird because as I was saying earlier, I feel like the story that we're seeing take place with Matt Damon and his family, it doesn't need the time that is being given. You know what I mean? This movie could have been 65, 70 minutes long. It would have been nice and tight. And then you have this story on the side that parallels it with this black family movie in. And I think that could have been a movie that could have held up an hour and 45 minutes if they had expanded on that.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So I just think it's like if you take two puzzles and you take half of the pieces from one puzzle, you take half of them from another puzzle, you can't build a new fucking puzzle.
Well, you can. It just
exactly.
Like
it's just going to be this piece of shit.
But back to this opening, I'm going to try to follow the plot of just the Damon family. Okay. Because it's the only one that makes sense. The other one leads to nowhere. It's a path to darkness, Darren. We're going to avoid it.
It's a path to darkness.
So the wife gets killed by these mobsters. Matt Damon and his son go to the funeral for the mother, who is actually, she has a twin sister. So basically you have this replacement. Julianne Moore plays the wife that gets murdered and her sister, who comes and immediately moves in with them. And there's the setup of this Uncle Mickey or something. What's his name?
I just watched this thing.
We're gonna call him
Frank?
Mickey for now.
I think it's Frank.
Frank? Okay, he's from Brooklyn somehow. This family does not have accents, but he alone
But he
has
the accent. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Mitch. Uncle Mitch. There we go. So he's set up, and he's kind of like a loser in the first scenes. You're like, ah, great, this classic New York failure, piece of shit. And then you get to follow this kid around as he deals with the sudden murder of his mother. Matt Damon seems really detached. They spend a lot of time not talking to each other. Matt Damon seems like he does not give a fuck about this murder that just happened. Julianne Moore, as the sister, completely moves in, and they start playing house together. And you're like, well, that's kind of weird, and it gets weirder.
Oh, it does. And I was thinking right off the bat that it would be a bit of a mind fuck if your wife was murdered and now you're living with her sister who looks exactly like her. There's going to be some weird displacement issues there, I think.
Okay, but realistically, would it not be great to have a backup wife just on the bench?
Oh, totally. It would totally be great. And that, I think that eventually cloning is going to get to that place. But for now, I guess we'll just have to settle for twins. So all you would-be lovers out there, find yourself a set of twins, and you got a bit of an insurance policy going on there for you.
Yes, and any of you Facebook stalkers, if you find out who my girlfriend is, get extensive surgery and want to be a part of this thing as a backup, go for it. Thank you. But immediately there's something very wrong. It's very Coen Brothers-esque of these strange. I think they're character drives. The Coen Brothers are really good at having these zany character drives, motivations, and attitudes.
Yeah.
They never play. There's no straight man in this movie, really. Everybody is kind of their own straight man, but also supremely fetishized and fucked up.
Yeah, everyone's corrupt, and I love that because you get the insurance guy, and it's my favorite part of the movie for sure.
Mm-hmm. And you get that feeling that Matt Damon's going to end up being a bad guy. And I found, and I think I said it before, like I said, I'm a little bit stoned. I kind of like my my radio voice when I'm high. But, what was I saying? Right, Matt Damon.
Right, back to being stoned.
So the turn to the dark side for Matt Damon, he's seedy, and then he just gets worse and worse and worse and worse throughout the film. And I think that it would have made it a better kind of mystery if you didn't know why all this weird shit was happening. Because I've spent the first 20 minutes being like, wait, are we not going to go back to the criminals that killed the mom? Like, we're just into this new story now, and there's a good payoff for that. But I wish they kept Matt Damon as a better liar.
Yeah,
and I held it together better.
I think what you've got, like, okay, I'm going to talk about Fargo. I know you haven't seen it, which you got to get on because it's
I've seen a few scenes from it.
Seriously good movie. Is because right off the bat, you know what William H. Macy's character is doing and what he's planning. Mm-hmm. And so while it unfolds, you know that he's behind that. And I think that they should have gone either with what you're saying and kind of hide that from the audience, hide Matt Damon's dark side a little bit longer from the audience, or right off the bat, like, so during that scene when everyone's getting the chloroform, if you'd already known that he's the bad guy, because that's what Fargo basically sets up, that this guy's a piece of shit and he's doing something super shady, and then you get to watch it unravel.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of this is sort of more of like a mystery, and I think they kind of let you in on that a little bit too quickly.
Mm-hmm. There's a good in Ray Donovan, and I know it's Ray Donovan.
Wait, I just want to pause here. Just make sure you don't drop any spoilers for me, okay? Because I've only seen the first few episodes.
Okay. So. Basically, the seasons are their own big movie, and so they resolve before the new season, to a certain degree. And basically, all these intertwining plots always come together and mesh. And it's really good because you don't know how the fuck they're going to pull it out or who's going to win, who's going to lose. But you get to see all the pieces coming together until you get the puzzle locks. And in this movie, the puzzle locking is... There's no triumphant climax to the film. I would say like the Oscar Isaac, the murder, would be what would be considered the climax. But it's also so kind of deadpan, the delivery on that. Like, oh, we poisoned the guy.
Well, I think it's because we already knew
that shit was going to get worse and worse. I think
what would have been awesome is if we find out about the fraud during that scene, like, when Oscar Isaac's insurance, the investigation client,
Yes, that would
comes
that's
in, and then the audience gets to kind of piece it together throughout that. I love that. Is by far, hands down, the best scene in the movie.
Or if you had seen all the lead up to the murder, etc., like why he murdered his wife, like how much bullshit he had done to her, etc. Because apparently it sounds like he ran his car into somebody else to collect insurance money off of her on purpose. So I think if we had
really thought about that. I never thought about that.
Yeah, I totally think he was just beating the shit out of his wife in weird ways to get money.
That's shady.
If we had been set up seeing Matt Damon behind the scenes as well, and you would have got a bigger, like, oh fuck, for the Oscar Isaac character when he gets murdered, because he's really just stepping right in it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't take either path. They kind of took a watered-down version of both, dropped you in at an almost random part in this whole plot so that it could culminate. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't really make a movie. You can't put all these characters into motion just to get a certain scene that you want. I think that there has to be logical reasons or a really intricate setup to get you to those places, and this one has none of those.
Yeah, and I think there are a lot of moments in the movie that work, but it's strange. The tone is, it doesn't settle on a specific tone. It kind of moves about and jumps about. It's confused in a way.
Definitely. And that's got to be down to this if this was any other writers that had kind of switched from the director's seat to just straight writing, if it was anybody but Clooney and the Cohen brothers, I think this would have been way worse. This movie almost works, and maybe you could even save it in the edit, kind of play the laughs or the drama a little bit different.
Yeah, I think they almost had that. There are a lot of really good laughs, and it's an interesting enough. There's the beer talking. It's an interesting enough concept to keep you mildly entertained.
Yeah, and going back to the Jack Black movie that we just did, The Polka King, that movie would have been a lot like this movie if the talent wasn't so big.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. I think I wasn't crazy about this movie, but I think I would still probably tell people, like, hey, like, if you don't know what you want to watch, check this movie out. Yeah, but it definitely wouldn't be, you gotta see this movie, it's so good. It wouldn't be one of those.
I might give it another watch in like a month or something, just to check back in with it.
Yeah.
Because the Coen brothers are good world builders, and they're good. They have good motivators usually. Mm-hmm. Usually, and the whole thing's really fun.
They know how to toy with the audience in a really specific way, and they know how to draw a lot of humor from really, really dark subject matter that you don't usually see in a lot of movies.
Yeah, No Country for Old Men kind of changed my taste in movies, because I kind of had missed out on a lot of drama, and that's when I really started hitting drama harder, is because you can tell you can change. Basically what Hollywood does is they set up a good guy, and at the end of it you know that everything's going to be okay, and he's going to grow in this one fatal flaw. You know, they got like 6 flaws that every leading character has, and they'll get over it, like pride and shit like that. Mm-hmm. But the Coen brothers really take out a lot of the likability in their characters, and you never know who's going to end up on top, but you're always fascinated by their journeys because they're really honest as characters.
Yeah, and you usually have one character, at least the one character in a Coen brothers film, for the most part, not always, that has their motivations coming from a good place.
Definitely, but usually the moral guys in a Coen brothers movie are kind of stupid or like castrated by their morality, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
They're not good at what they do because they can only see it the one way.
Yeah.
Which is cool, because I think that a lot of moral people that I've known in my life are intellectually castrated by their morality.
Intellectually castrated. I'm gonna remember that one.
Yeah,
I love this ping pong scene. The scene with the ping pong paddle.
Oh yeah, so the kid walks in on Julianne Moore and Matt Damon doing it doggy style, animal style, if you will.
Because they build up this tension.
Oh, you know some fishy's going on.
This is one of the moments that really, really works in the film. Is they build up all this tension, and you have this kid who just gets home from baseball practice. He's in his baseball uniform, and then he hears like this whimper coming from the basement.
And he's probably worried that like the mom's gonna be strung up by the two mobsters again.
These people are back. These people who killed my mom are back. So he gets the kitchen knife and he sneaks up to the door, and they got this really slow build of tension. And he opens the door and turns the light on, and his dad is taking his aunt from behind. And by this point in the film, the aunt has dyed her fucking hair the same color as her sister, which is so twisted and so fucked up. She even puts on her pearl necklace, and
that's hot, Darren. That's called being hot.
Yeah, and she's about to get a second pearl necklace if Junior didn't bust in on them.
Okay. What was I gonna say?
And he's got the ping pong battle. Like, oh, that's great. That's hilarious. And he just turns the light off. Like, okay, I'll leave you guys alone, fucking freaks.
Oh, right. I want to see the movie where Matt Damon grooms this other idiot twin sister that got murdered and is boffing the evil twin the whole time, and that they just have like this life where he's secretly in love with the twin he's not married to and is just slowly killing her through car accidents and mob murders.
That is a Coen Brothers movie.
All for the true love of the other one.
Yes,
that's fucked up. And we're at a scene right now in the movie where the evil twin sister is being a bitch to the mother, the black mother from the family. And I wish I knew their family name because I'm really starting to hear I don't like saying black this much, guys.
The Myers. They're the Myers.
The Myers. Thank you, God. Okay.
Jesus. Just blame it on the weed, man. Just blame it on the weed.
So they're having a lot of the Myers have a giant riot outside their house, and this all happened. This really happened. America's fucked.
So fucked.
But there's no reason the crime part of this could be placed anywhere. They could have gone back to Minnesota and had a murder mystery there.
Minnesota.
But they didn't.
Oh yeah. Oh geez, eh?
Yeah, they could have done Fargo with it. But instead, they moved it to this crazy historical set. I want them to do this on the fucking Titanic. Write that script. Suburbicon on the Titanic.
Oh my god!
And then he just pushes his wife off the front of the Titanic.
I was gonna say that scene when they're in the front of the boat and she's standing there. He just gives her a little push.
I can fly, Jack.
You gonna drown, bitch? I don't
know if Matt Damon would have gone out and said, "You're gonna drown, bitch," as he pushed her off the boat. That's a whole different movie.
Let's test that theory.
I could see Matt Damon deadpanning that. Let's test that theory. Pushes her off and then starts making out with the other twin.
Yeah.
So by this point in the movie, it's come out that Matt Damon is obviously doing some shady shit. One of the mobsters died, and in his ledger it shows that Matt Damon owes him some money. So the cop that's on the case goes to Matt Damon. He's like, "Hey, look, man, I don't know if you're in with the mob or you killed your wife or blah blah blah, but we're gonna find out there, sweetheart." And so Matt Damon starts freaking out, and this is when he's supposed to get tense in the movie. But it's kind of like that. That was another problem. Is I didn't really like the kid. Because all the kid does is mope around through this hilarious Cohen brothers movie, but he doesn't really do anything that likable, other than you like him because his mom got killed, and that sucks.
And he's cool with the black neighbors. He plays catch with little boy Myers.
Yeah, but he's also just like walking in on scenes of his dad fucking his aunt.
And he doesn't do anything. He doesn't say anything. He just turns the light off.
Yeah, like, he's like the audience.
Have at her, Dad.
He's the little baby audience.
Little baby audience.
And so I wish they had gave him a little bit more of a tude.
Little more angst.
You know what, Hollywood? If you ever want to just let me smoke a bone and let me hammer out your scripts with you. I think we could get some stuff done.
Let's do it. It'll be in the credits. Story edit by Rod and Commentatoes.
Yes. Except, you know what the problem is we keep doing this retroactively. We need to get ahead of the curve. Yes. Send us your movies, and we'll shit on them before you release them, and then you'll know what was wrong. Because we are the voice of the people. All the 12 people that listen to us.
Thank you, by the way.
Thank you for your continued support. We make no money doing this. I'm probably going to flunk out of university because of it, but you know what? That's future Keegan's problem.
That's the next podcast. That's the sequel.
A podcast where I'm hanging from a ceiling fan in my room and Darren's going, "Why aren't you talking?"
Hey, Keegan, are you there? Are you there?
So Oscar Isaac comes in, and Oscar Isaac he was in Ex Machina, which we have not released yet, so that'll be coming out after this. Such a great movie.
Side note, if you're listening to this and you've not seen Ex Machina, go and watch the fucking movie.
I think he said that enough. I think he said that enough in the Ex Machina episode. We don't need it. We don't need it here. Shutting you down, Darren. Turn it off.
Shut her down.
Any Oscar Isaac movie, though. Oscar Isaac movie is good. Seriously, he's one of those actors that just attaches themselves to good movies. But he rolls in, and he is a seedy insurance agent, and he basically kind of works the evil twin mom, the Julianne Moore. And he's like, hey, like a lot of these numbers don't add up. Your husband increased the policy on his wife 3 weeks before she was murdered. He did da-da-da-da-da. And then halfway through it, he's like, ha, I was just kidding. I was fishing. And I know now. I'll be back later to ruin things.
Yeah, and I love it. I love that twist because he plays such a cut and dry, straight dude coming in.
You expect he's going to be a good guy.
Yeah, you think he's sort of a moral centerpiece of this whole thing. But he turns out to be a piece of shit, too.
Yeah.
It's great. I love that you see her cleaning the sink with the lie. And then when she gives him the cup of coffee later, she's walking away and she's kind of crying a bit. And she's got this intense look on her face. And you're like, oh, shit, she put the lie in his fucking coffee.
Yeah, I was stretching while this was happening, so I missed that. So I got the full payoff of the lie.
What were you doing? Yoga?
Yeah, I do some yoga for my intermittent back pain, Darren.
I rock the yoga. I'm not judging, man. I rock the yoga. I got a yoga mat.
I bet I could out-yoga you 6 ways to Sunday, Chief.
I went to theater for 4 years and did a 12-month intensive study at Vancouver Film School, so I've done a lot of fucking yoga.
Does yoga teach you to act?
No.
That's why there's not actors coming out of the Vancouver film schools.
Hey, I got a buddy of mine,
yoga.
Trent Redicop, who I went to school with, and he's rocking hard, man. He's in a Netflix series. He's in the Unfortunate Events.
Let's get him on the podcast.
Let's do it. He would totally do it too.
Oh, and yeah, but then we'll make him rip apart his own show that he's on.
That's a terrible idea. That's such a horrible idea.
All right, okay, yeah.
But he's funny guy.
If he wants to ruin his career, I'll do it for him. Everything I touch turns to shit. All right, so you've got this kind of like subplot of these mobsters are trying to get paid by Matt Damon, so they're gearing up. They're like, all right, we're gonna fuck this guy up. We're gonna kill his kid. We're gonna kill the wife. We're gonna get in there and he's gonna fucking pay us, little piece of shit.
Are you a mobster in real life, Keegan? Is that what you do? Is that the whole pizza thing? The pizza place is the front, isn't it? You're a criminal.
I don't ask you about your shit. You don't ask me about mine. You want to know what I do? You come down. You see me in the back room.
Don't ever ask me about my affairs, kid. Never ask me about my affairs.
Fucking cockroaches.
Are you fucking Tony Montana?
Yeah, that was Italian Tony Montana from Brooklyn. So we have these scenes of the riot is getting more intense at the Myers house. Matt Damon knows that the insurance agent is onto them. The mobsters are coming to collect the money. The kid's doing fuck all because the kid never changes through the whole movie, which is stupid.
Fuck all because he's a fucking kid. What is he supposed to do?
But yeah, I was doing all sorts of crazy shit when I was a kid. When I was 3 years old, for a whole year, I made everybody call me Batman, or else I wouldn't answer him back. They'd be like, "Hey, Keegan," I'd be like, "Fuck you."
Holy, you realize
just
what
did
you've
Batman.
done now, right? You
What?
realize what you've done. Now you are Batman. I'm only going to call you Batman now.
No, Darren, don't do that. That'll be silly. People
Okay,
won't listen to a podcast.
whatever you
for that.
say, Batman.
All right. Continuing on, so Matt Damon sits down with Oscar Isaac. Oscar Isaac's like, "I want all the money. If I disappear, you're not going to get a fucking cent. I have a cool mustache. Listen to me."
I
And
love
Matt
that.
Damon's like, "I don't like your mustache, man. So let me think. for a
Fuck
minute."
your mustache. We're going to hold you down. We're going to shave your stupid fucking mustache.
This is verbatim the dialogue of the movie.
This is it. And all of a sudden, this is like the best part of the movie when Matt Damon spontaneously takes on the fucking Brooklyn accent. We're going to shave your mustache insurance, man.
Hey, you know why my cousin Vince or whatever the fuck his name is has a Brooklyn accent? Because I did too the whole time.
Yeah. And you know what? They might come in and snuff this bitch, but guess what? They had triplets. I still got another one in the back.
It's secret. She's the secret third twin. We keep her in the walls and we feed her fish heads just in case my other one dies.
Don't worry, we give her vitamins, because the fish heads ain't got none.
So Oscar Isaac's like, "Hey, give me some money," and he's got a good point. They are fucked. And then
They're
the
totally fucked.
the evil twin sister gives him lie, and then he starts freaking out and dying.
I love the line, because he's like, if anything happens to me, you are so fucked. Oh my god, I'm dying. Yeah.
It was really good.
Does lie work that quickly? Like, I want to test this. Do you have any people you work
Yeah,
with that you
drink
really
some
don't
lie,
like?
dude. Drink some lie.
No, that's what I'm saying. You got any people you work with that you don't get along with? You can
All of
invite them over.
All of them.
Oh, well, then just fucking draw a name out of a hat. Let's do this thing.
I do this super inappropriate thing at work, and I've started calling myself Papa Keegs because I knew
Papa
they'd hate it.
Keegs?
Yeah.
No, you're
So-
Batman. You're not Papa Keegs.
Oh, I've got so many names there, and I'm like Kaiser Soze.
So you sexually assault 14-year-old boys?
God damn it! Son of a bitch! Damn you, Spacey! So many of my references are off of his movies. Now I can't be a part of it.
Oh,
Fuck. Fuck you, Kevin Spacey. You sick bitch. Alright, so he runs out of the house because he drank lye. The cops are beating in the Myers' door. The mobsters are going to show up. You know shit's going to go down. And this is where I stopped paying a lot of attention because I was disappointed in Oscar Isaac's role.
why?
Darren-
Because it ended so fast?
Yeah, and he's just the whole lie thing. They could have built it up or just, I don't know. The payoff was not there for me.
Really? The payoff was there for me, I think, a little bit. I think you're just mourning the loss of the most interesting part of the film.
Yes, that is exactly what I was doing. Oh, Julianne Moore poisons the sandwich in the milk she's going to feed to the kids.
Just a terrible person. I love it. It's so stupid. I don't think it's that. Like, I don't know. Would pills crush that easily with a rolling pin?
I believe so. The one thing that I have a problem with is who's going to eat a whole fucking sandwich that tastes
Sandwich
like
of powder?
pills?
I know. It's like, oh yeah, he'll never know. You'll never taste that. Why doesn't she just use the fucking lie?
Hey, dead mom sister, did you put like 50 pills in this sandwich? Because it tastes like you put 50 pills in this sandwich. I'm going to
This
eat
is
it.
really bitter. This is disgusting. I'm not eating it. Make something else. Why didn't she put lye in his milk? Seriously.
But I think that's the metaphor, Darren, is that Americans don't understand that the American dream is a peanut butter and jelly sandwich filled with sleeping pills.
Okay, that
Yeah,
makes
the
sense.
Cohen brothers are so smart. They're like, sleeping pill sandwich on this side, and the Myerses, we're racists, man. We're
You
secret
don't
racists.
need-
We're burning down the suburbs.
But you don't need to ruin a perfectly good peanut butter jelly sandwich to get high on sleeping pills. You just take the fucking sleeping pills.
Guys, and everyone knows Americans are famous for that. They need their drugs and their sandwiches to get through the day.
To quote Eminem, can't go to sleep without a Tylenol PM.
Yeah. To quote Lil Pump, Gucci gang, 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 Gucci gang. And then some.
I love this.
Okay.
This is some good physical humor with Matt Damon on the fucking bike. I love that.
Oh yes, Matt Damon is a great actor, and he's so good at being unlikable.
Mm-hmm.
So fucking good at it.
And he's good at switching that too. He can play the character that you're kind of rooting for, like Interstellar. You're like, oh, this guy's been through the fucking runner, man. He's been through the shit. He's been lost on this planet, and he thought he was gonna die, and they've come to get him. Oh my god, he's gonna kill McConaughey.
Yeah.
It's like, holy shit, just that dark twist.
And I don't know how he does it. It's like his language. He's really good at his body language, I think, is what it boils down to.
Maybe he's a sociopath.
Well, that too, but I mean, now he couldn't be a sociopath because I think that he wouldn't be able to. Oh no, sociopaths can switch it really easy.
Oh man, they're
I don't know if he'd understand when to switch it.
The good sociopaths like Ted Bundy are chameleons. And then there's bad sociopaths who everyone knows are just fucked up.
Like you, Mr. Hitler Drawer.
Hey, you got to bring that up in the podcast.
I just told the whole world about your Hitler
all right,
drawing.
now I got to break this down. I am doing a series of drawings of World War II leaders. So I've got Churchill, got Roosevelt, okay? And I also happen to be drawing Hitler and Stalin. Does that make me a fascist? No. Does that make me a communist? No.
Nobody said that you were a fascist, and the fact that you bring that up, I was fishing the whole time, Darren. I was fishing, and you played yourself. Congratulations. You played yourself, you fascist.
You know what? There's a lot less crime in fascist states. I'm just going to say that.
Oh my god. I put you on notice the last time you started talking about Hitler, and now you're going at it again.
I wasn't talking about
euthanizing
Hitler.
the Wookiees or whatever it was?
No. You were the one who brought up Hitler, A. And B, I wasn't talking about euthanizing anyone. I was talking about sterilizing flat earthers so they can't reproduce and raise children. To be scientifically illiterate schmucks. There's a difference.
Darren, to quote every smart person in New York ever, you're a bigot.
Not a bigot. I just think flat earthers shouldn't be raising the future generation. That's all. They have their right to their own life and their own thing that they do.
I don't want your defense of your views.
We're talking about a guy. There's a guy who wants to build a fucking steam rocket, a steam
Let
powered
him do
rocket.
it. Let him kill himself on it.
Yes, exactly. Natural selection.
Nature will run its course. We don't need to sterilize him. Now,
fine.
Back to you being a bigot is
I'm not a bigot.
I think that eventually, because bigot sounds so much like the F word for homosexual, that you won't be able to say it because the connotation is that you really want to say that other one.
What does that have to do with me drawing World War II leaders and thinking flat earthers are the worst?
Darren, did I mention that I'm high a little bit?
Yes. Did I mention I was drunk a little bit?
It's off of one beer?
I've had a liter of 8% beer. So that's close to a 6-pack of normal beer.
Okay, you did not disclose this information to me. Second of all, that's a child's drink.
This is the Laplander double IPA from Iron Road Brewery.
Who is not sponsoring this podcast? I will not have you doing ads. I will not have you doing ads on my podcast, please.
You know what? I'm going to go down there tomorrow, and I'm going to demand a
sponsorship.
Back
to the movie. Well, guys, we're going to ignore Darren. Everybody with me. Everybody on the right side of the room is with me. Everybody on the left side of the room is with Darren.
So I'm not a bigot. I'm on the left. You're on the right. You said it. You are
literally Goebbels. Back to the movie, right? So Uncle Vincent or Teddy Pendergrass or Damon Wayans, whatever the uncle's name is, that's from Brooklyn, he comes in and he fights one of the mobsters and saves the kid, and then dies. The parents are I can't remember what's going on in the movie, Darren.
Okay, so what has happened was, where did we leave off? We left off on the murder of Oscar Isaac's insurance broker character. Okay. So what has happened since then No. We left off on the peanut butter jelly sandwich that was being poisoned with pills. So this kid clearly does not have his head inside of his anus. So he locks his fucking door after watching his aunt and father murder a guy with lye. And he calls his Uncle Mitch, by the way. Uncle Mitch. He calls his Uncle Mitch because he knows he's going to get fucking murked. All right? He knows he's going to get murked. So he calls his uncle and says, they're going to kill me. And that's when the mother cuts the fucking phone cord.
Right, and does her Stepford Wives thing.
Yeah, and actually, I think that's before the poisoning. Then she makes him a sandwich. Oh, come down, I made you a sandwich. He's like, I ain't eating your fucking sandwich. There's no way I'm eating your sandwich, bitch. I don't trust you.
Again, verbatim the dialogue in the movie.
Verbatim, yes. I got the subtitles on. I'm reading. And so this is all happening while Matt Damon's character has gone off to dispose of Oscar Isaac's body. And we've got, at this point in time, the Myers family has had their car set on fire by the white supremacists. So this fucking fat, bald, twit mobster gets killed in a head-on collision with a fire truck while he's threatening Matt Damon because he thinks he's hot shit. And then Matt Damon pedals off like a clown on his child's bike. And that's great. It's one of my favorite shots in the movie.
Yes. So in that whole altercation, the kid is in the closet. The Julianne Moore has been strangled by a mobster. Uncle Mitch has killed that mobster, but also got stabbed and died. The second mobster has been killed while talking to Matt Damon. So the only two characters left are Matt Damon and the son.
I love it how Mr. Lodge, because that's his character's name, has gone out covered in blood, and he's not like he's just walking around. He's covered in fucking blood. Doesn't give a shit.
I get the movie, Darren.
Anybody could have caught him. Anybody could just bump into him.
It's that white people are doing these atrocious, fucked up things.
Oh
and meanwhile, we're just mad at black people for invading our space while psycho freaks are ruining America.
This movie just climbed up like at least 2 points out of 10. Just by you pointing that out. Is that all these people are missing this. They're missing all this shit because they're too busy.
Very obvious shit.
Holy shit.
Am I a genius?
I don't know. Either that or we're just stupid and it took us too long to get it.
Yeah.
One of the two. And I hate to say it, but I'm leaning towards you not being a genius.
Oh, I'm a fucking idiot.
But seriously, like, this whole fucking community is in this uproar about this black family. Meanwhile, Matt Damon is killing his whole fucking family.
Yes. So the coming down out of the climax of the movie, Matt Damon sits down with the son and he's going over. He's like, "Look, buddy, I like you, but basically, either you got killed by these mobsters,
yeah,
and you're dead, or
so fucked up.
I'm going to tell the cops that we survived this attack by the mafia." And then we can move to Aruba. And while Matt Damon is doing this scene, and I tried to do a Christopher Walken there, and I couldn't get it across. Or not a Christopher Walken.
Oh, okay. I see that now. That
Kevin Spacey. Kevin Spacey has kind of a Christopher Walken-esque voice.
A little bit.
Anyway, he's eating the fucking sandwich. He's eating the pill sandwich.
He's drinking the milk.
Yeah.
How do you not taste that?
Oh,
what is wrong with you?
It's because Matt Damon is a body snatcher for sure. He doesn't know human food.
This is one of my favorite parts of the movie because this guy, let's just break it down to its bare essentials. This man is sitting in front of his son, splattered with blood, threatening to kill him. Or, son, we can move to Aruba. Buddy, if you move to Aruba with your kid, he's going to turn 15. and he's gonna cut your fucking head off while you sleep because you've completely butchered his psyche.
Or worse, he could live at your house, drawing charcoal pictures of Hitler.
Hey, that's uncalled for. I haven't even drawn it yet.
Oh, you already followed through on your maniacal art project?
I just finished my Churchill drawing, man. This shit takes me like 5 hours.
Can I have your Churchill drawing?
No, you can have a picture of it if you wish.
A picture of it? No, I want an original.
You don't get the fucking original.
I'm gonna hang an original right in front of me to remember that you're not an idiot.
You don't get the original unless you gotta buy the whole series, which means you gotta buy Hitler too.
Okay, if you hang all of them in frames, like a consecutive big long frame, I'll buy it.
Okay.
That's a done deal. On the podcast, I said it out loud, guys. Oh my god, let's auction it off. We have nearly 12 people that would clamor for that.
Yeah, I'm sure they would clamor. I'm sure they'd be clamoring for my charcoal sketches of Winston Churchill and Adolf Hitler.
Mm-hmm. So, Matt Damon obviously dies. Spoiler alert, by the way, guys. I forgot to say that earlier. Spoiler alert for this movie.
It's written everywhere. I don't know where else to put it. Gotta put it in the description of every single episode.
I think from now on, we should do spoiler alert at the last 10 minutes of the podcast.
Oh, by the way, spoiler alert, guys.
Yeah, no, I enjoy that. So the kid wakes up the next morning and he goes over to the fence, and the aftermath of the riot has died down. That whole family's the whole white family's dead, except for the kid, and he starts passing the ball back and forth across the fence with the Myers' son, and then it cuts to the credits. So back to this reveal that me and Darren were too stupid to understand in our first viewing. It would have been interesting on the periphery if you had seen the riot outside of Matt Damon's house and it was completely ignored by even his family, and it was on the periphery of the film. I think that would have worked great as a metaphor for what's going on, as a theme. But they spend way too much time on it, and I think that maybe Clooney was thinking that they were too stupid, like me and Darren, to get the metaphor. But also, I would have been paying more attention if there was any sort of payout in these weird commercials that was the Myers family in the movie.
Weird commercials.
Hey, black people are all right.
No, that changes the movie in a lot of different ways.
That everybody does not redeem,
so caught up.
Does not redeem the edit.
No, but it definitely increases the quality. Mm-hmm. Everybody is so caught up in this black family who have moved into the suburbs.
The Myerses.
Yes, the Myers. But to nail home the theme, these white families are so caught up that this black family has moved in.
Should we say the R at the end of Myers? These Mayas.
Oh, you know what? As soon as I saw this opening scene with the mailman asking, "Oh, is Mrs. Myers home?" I thought, "Oh fuck, we're doing this right after we did Get Out." Are you fucking kidding me right now?
I made it almost the whole podcast.
You're fucking kidding me right now.
I'm harmless, guys. I weigh 170 pounds and I'm 6'3".
You weigh 170 pounds?
I used to. I think I got fatter over Christmas. I don't know.
I am 177 and I'm 5'8", maybe 7.5.
You know what, man? It's because I got a swimmer's body. So go fuck yourself.
I don't know. I have a beer drinker's body. That's what I have.
Yeah. You're an R2-D2 and I'm a C-3PO.
Everything is in proper proportions except for my belly.
And your penis.
Hey, we don't talk about that on this podcast.
Darren,
that's between
your mom's African. You've got a little bit of the old... I'm not going to say that thing that we said.
The dangler. Got the dangler.
So, basically, what... Darren, would you add this to your DVD collection? Let's get to the point.
Oh, that's a hard no, bud.
Me as well. A little bit of a misfire of a film. Mm-hmm. It endeavored strongly to be what it is, but didn't quite make the finish line, guys.
No.
Tune in for it. Yeah, no, I would definitely... There are things that I would regret more than watching this movie again.
Like Valerian or Poker King?
Holy fuck. I could watch Valerian as, you know, when you gotta go to work and you're like, fuck, I gotta sit through 8 hours of this. It's the same thing with Valerian. Like, oh fuck, I gotta sit through 2 hours of this.
So bad. It's so bad. So to those of you who are interested, we are sitting on a review of Valerian, City of a Thousand Planets.
We haven't released Valerian yet?
No, we have not.
Let's get this one down first because I'm really enjoying this one.
No, this is
But
good.
I'm also
And
in an altered state of mind.
what's the status on Get Out?
Are we breaking up?
What's the status on Get Out?
Status?
Yeah, the status.
The social status? I would say that we're almost equal, but there's a lot of work to be done.
That's
what I mean.
That's not what I mean. I mean
Okay.
the fucking podcast episode. Have you finished with it? Are we ready to post?
Have I finished with it? Darren, we're not post-racial.
You're terrible. Are we going to upload the MP3 file?
Of what?
Are we ready? Of our discussion of the film Get Out. Send that shit.
I think that, you know how Macbeth's called the Scottish play?
Yes.
We should definitely get one for Get Out. The racial leave. The racial leave movie.
Oh my god.
Yes, we will release the racial leave movie eventually.
We gotta get on it.
Does that answer your question? Was that a sufficient answer?
It was, but as long as that means tomorrow or the next day.
Oh, I have deadlines now. Darren, my editor. My fucking editor.
We are once a week, motherfucker.
We're gonna release this one tomorrow.
Are you?
Yeah, I like this one.
Okay.
I'm getting high before every podcast now.
I'm getting tipsy before every podcast now.
And also, guys, when I say high, I mean not high on life, high on methamphetamines and peyote.
You gotta share that peyote, man.
You couldn't handle it, my brother.
Hey, come over sometime. I brew a mean ayahuasca, buddy.
Okay. Also, we should probably end this because we're not talking about the movie anymore. I think we kind of covered it to its extreme. Darren, any closing remarks you'd like to make?
I don't know. I think it was a really interesting concept, and it was a fun movie, but I think it could have been a lot better.
Okay.
Suffered from a little bit of attention deficit disorder.
Darren, you've been doing. You've got this thing where you can do a good impression of me trying to do an impression of you. Is there anything that you'd like to say really softly in my voice, but that's actually Heil Hitler? Darren!